This is Truth is Scarier Than Fiction, and I'll look into 3 creepy old audio recordings. Number 1, the 1994-1995 old tape. Originally coming from a /x/ post, the Anon posted a creepy, I think, audio file, which I've always been curious about. Back in 1994/1995 when I recorded this author radio, I told myself I'd never make a copy this day, having freaked myself out. But it's been sitting in the back of a desk drawer and in the back of my mind for 16 years now, and now I'm just curious. He then posts a link to the audio tape, which I will play now.
Peter Gunnar, son of Robert, step of Kay, brother Bob, Karen, Cindy, and Mary, husband, Lisa, father of Shady, Milford, Rick, and Lucy, Monica, and 1988, John Burns, son of John Sr. and Marilyn, brother Kathy and Chris, step of Brenda, Lucy, and December 21st, 1988, Barry Valentino, son of Barry Sr. and Jean, brother Scott, Mark, and Lisa, Ann's friend, my friend. February 1985, Frank Oppenheimer, brother of Robert, husband of Jackie and Emily, father of Michael, our friend. In 1987, Henrietta Graham, mother of Ian and Ralph Sally, my friend. March 17, 1988, Edward McGellis, brother of William, Jim, May, and Peggy, father of Shirley, Abby, and Josephine. April 1988, Ruth Marnani, wife of Rocco, friend of Bob and me. October 1988, Morgan Shoemake, father of Barbara, husband of Elsie, Barbara's dad. August 22nd, 1985, Irene McGellis de Tullio. Sister of Millie, Margaret, Dan, Tony, Ida, Dominic, Nair, Scat, Elvira, and Joe. Wife of William, mother of Mary, and grandmother of Liz and Billy. Me. July 4th, 1987, Peter Gunlock, son of Robert, step of Kay, brother of Bob, Karen, Cindy, and Mary, husband of Lisa, father of Shady, Mocha, Rick, and Lucy. My brother-in-law. November 1988, John Burns, son of John Sr. and Marilyn, brother of Kathy and Chris, step of Brenda, Lisa, and Billy. December 21st, 1988, Barry Valentino, son of Barry Sr. and Jean, brother Scott, Mark, and Lisa, Ann's friend. February 1985, Frank Oppenheimer, brother of Robert, husband of Jackie and Millie, father of Michael. May 1987, Henrietta Graham, mother of Ian and Ralph Sally. March 17, 1988, Edward McGellis, brother of William, Jim, May, Peggy, father of Shirley, Abby, and Geraldine. Heart attack, 1988, Ruth Magnani, wife of Uncle, friend of Bob. October 1988, Morgan Shoemake, mother of Barbara, husband of Elsie, kidney failure.
You're tuned to WKCR-FM New York, 89.9 on your dial. Colombian music is running a little late. It will be starting in a few minutes.
He then says that the story of how he recorded his tape was when he was around 15 in 1995. He used to stay up late in his room listening to the radio on his boombox with an integrated tape recorder. He'd dial through the stations, and when he heard something interesting, he'd hit record for a while, then move on. One night, I came across this. I don't think this was the beginning of the broadcast, but I caught a lot of it. Right at the end, an announcer says the station I was tuned into was WKCR 89.9 New York. There were a bunch of names and dates in there, but I've never run into anything else like this. The names and dates she appears to be reading are obituaries. This is still a mystery, and nobody has been able to explain this tape. However, one theory suggests that he tuned into a number station. Number 2. The Q875 tapes. Many audio recordings were found in Jonestown afterwards of the tragic mass suicide. However, one tape was actually recorded the day after the mass suicide. I'll play the tape now.
It's good eating with golden cream cable margarine. Medical evacuation aircraft flew out of Temeri Airport this afternoon. 8 wounded people following Saturday afternoon's shooting, but left 5 Americans dead, including Congressman Leo Ryan. A United States Embassy spokesman said the wounded persons will be flown to either Andrews Air Force Base or Howard's Air Force Base in the Panama Canal. The injured on board were part of a group of American citizens who were visiting the Jonestown Agricultural Settlement at Port Kaituma on Saturday when a group opened fire on them. The 4 others killed in the shooting were NBC reporters Robert Brown and Don Harris, Greg Robinson, a photographer with the San Francisco Examiner, and Patricia Mark, who was said to be a member of the People's Temple community at Jonestown. Congressman Ryan came to Guyana last Tuesday to investigate reports that Americans at the People's Temple Mission Settlement, many of whom came from the San Francisco Bay Area, were being held there against their will. Accompanying Congressman Ryan were television and news team and some 40 concerned relatives of Americans at the Jonestown settlement. The shooting took place Saturday afternoon as Congressman Ryan and the party had concluded their visit and were about to board the aircraft to return to Georgetown. Reports said that a man pulled a gun and opened fire, and this was an apparent signal for other armed people to start firing. Congressman Ryan and others were hit in the hail of bullets. The Guyana government has dispatched troops and police to the area. Police have arrested an American in connection with the shooting at Port Kaituma, but the name of the man has not been disclosed. Meanwhile, Unconfirmed reports reaching Georgetown say there have been mass suicides at the Jonestown settlement. A government spokesman said they had received the report and have sent out an army officer to verify it, but he has not yet reported back. However, at the People's Temple Georgetown headquarters, American Mrs. Sharon Amos and her 3 children were found dead last night. Police said they were working on the theory of murder-suicide or murder by persons unknown. Mrs. Amos was concerned with making most of the arrangements for Congressman Ryan's visit to Jonestown. Stallholders at the New Amsterdam Municipal Market are protected.
Today, her last words to her son warned him about the kind of people he might encounter at a religious commune in the remote jungles of Guyana.
The last thing I said to him, be very careful. This is Tuesday morning when he was leaving to go. Be very careful, because this kind of person is emotionally unstable and quite outside any discipline, and anything can happen.
Autumn Meade Ryan, mother of California Congressman Leo Ryan. The 53-year-old Ryan, 3 youth people, and an unidentified woman were killed last night in Guyana as they were about to leave a jungle airstrip. They were part of a party investigating reports Americans were being held against their will. At a State Department briefing this afternoon, spokesman Tom Reston said Ryan and the others have not been moved.
The bodies of the people who lost their lives at the airport are remaining behind in Guyana at the moment. In Georgetown? No, they are last reported at the airstrip. We believe that they will be transported to Georgetown as soon as possible.
Tom Reston says autopsies will be performed on the bodies before they're brought back to the United States. Guyanese troops reportedly have arrived now in Jonestown. The Associated Press reports the troops have said nothing about reports of mass suicides in the commune. Earlier today, the Guyana government announced the arrest of an American suspected of taking part in the killing, who is Larry John Layton, whose age and hometown are not known. The State Department now says attorneys Mark Lane and Charles Gary are in Jonestown, Guyana. Lane, Gary, and several others have been believed missing since last night's attack. ABC's Ted Koppel at the State Department says there has been radio communication between the commune and Guyana's capital of Georgetown, which is how the State Department learned the two were safe. Lane and Gary were in Guyana to act as counsel for Jim Jones, the founder of Jonestown. This is ABC News.
Would you like to walk?
Craft will be arriving at Timeri within the hour, about relatives of residents of Jonestown. These relatives came into the country last week with the intention of visiting the People's Temple settlement along with the late Congressman Leo Ryan. Also leaving on board the same plane is the husband of a senior official of the People's Temple in Georgetown, Sharon Amos, who along with her 3 children were found dead at their home in the city last night. Meanwhile, U.S. President Jimmy Carter has expressed shock and dismay at the murder of Congressman Leo Ryan. Members of the Joint Committee of Government and Trades Union Congress representatives considered the appointment of a secretary at the preliminary meeting held at the public buildings.
Is a man with a penchant for trouble. Here is a profile of the late congressman.
A fellow congressman once described Mr. Ryan as part of the new breed on Capitol Hill. Legislators who go out and see things for themselves. And even though it was wonderful in last month's election campaign that almost unseated the 53-year-old liberal Democrat, it was his opponent's play that Mr. Ryan spent too much time away from Washington. Mr. Ryan was in Guyana investigating reports that American members of an agriculture commune were being abused and beaten. Many members of the commune came from Mr. Ryan's home district in California, where the movement known as the People's Federal Community is based. The congressman and 4 other Americans died while boarding a plane after visiting the commune. Mr. Ryan served as a Navy submariner in World War II, and worked as a school superintendent and secondary school teacher. He served as mayor of and as state assemblyman before being elected to Congress in 1972. During the last session of Ryan gained prominence for leading a successful fight against President Carter's plan to create a separate Department of Education.
Trial of Congressman Leo Ryan, who was killed in an ambush Saturday in Guyana. In East Asian developments, even before the old rusting freighter Hai Hong limped into Malaysian waters with its 2,500 Vietnamese on board, the refugee problems had assumed major proportions for the Malaysian government. VOA's Stephen Thomas.
Just 1 year ago, only some 4,000 Vietnamese found in the United Nations refugee camp in Malaysia. 40,000 Malaysian shore, compared to only 10,000 in the first 100 years after the last month, a whopping 13,000 refugees nearly were bringing figures were rising as more and more states and Christian hospitals split across South China. The Malaysian government had as much success with these influx of refugees than ever. Is being severely tested.
That's the end of the tape. Many theories have been put forth onto who recorded the tape, from higher-ups in the Jonestown hierarchy, to soldiers who liberated Jonestown after the massacre, to even the FBI. However, with the very few amount of survivors at Jonestown, it is likely that this tape will remain a mystery. Number 3. The Lost Cosmonaut Tapes. Brothers Achille and Jan Judicia Cordelia recorded what was supposedly the voice of a cosmonaut in the late 1950s. They recorded the voice multiple times, and her last broadcast indicates that her spaceship was starting to become superheated. This is a translation of what the woman was apparently saying. Come in, come in, come in, listen, come in, talk to me, I'm hot, come in, what, 45, what, 50, yes, 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 breathing, oxygen, I am hot, isn't this dangerous? Transmission begins now, 41, yes, I feel hot, it's all hot, I can see a flame, 32, am I going to crash? Yes, I feel hot. I'm listening. I feel hot. I will re-enter. I am hot. This is the recording. That was Truth is Scarier Than Fiction, and remember, fear keeps us going.